Thumbnail of the week goes to the Computer Programming University. So anyway, I have a new show idea that just came to me today, and I'm actually going to start recording some content right away for it. So as you know, I have really developed an affinity for machine learning. So it's something that I'm studying and looking to long-term specialize in. I would have to obviously connect the dots between my career and this technology because you can use machine learning to do a lot of different things, right? But I'm in finance, so I need to develop or find a finance application for my machine learning knowledge so it can have relevance, right? Anyway, so the show that I wanted to do was I don't know how to describe it, but basically what I want to do is I want to talk about machine learning topics. So just sharing my thoughts. Also, so I guess machine learning news, machine learning thoughts, machine learning news and thoughts and ideas. So for example, one of the first episodes that I wanted to do was I wanted to talk about explaining why is there such a fear of artificial intelligence? What is the risk? What everybody's so afraid of? Or not necessarily everybody, but what are people so afraid of? So myself, Elon Musk, and many others. What's the big deal with machine learning? So defining the risks, because I'm sure many people haven't sat down and actually thought about it. Like you could sit there and look at Terminator and but have you really spent time to think about what the risks are and what the dangers are? So I wanted to talk about that. And also, I have a theory that I would like to share with the world as far as a plan to address some of the fears that people have with machine learning. So the basic idea in short, and I think people are already kind of thinking about this, but from a different perspective. The idea is this human 2.0 thing where we merge with the machines. My idea is ultimately the idea that if you can't beat them, join them. Like that's definitely applicable and very valid concern. But you don't have to physically join with them. You can ultimately the only way to fight AI is with AI, but the AI doesn't have to be part of you. You don't have to merge with AI. You don't have to put chips in your body and all that human 2.0 stuff. Because of course that could also backfire as well. But you can use AI to fight AI externally. Perhaps you could even develop AI which my thought was AI that specifically the purpose of it is focused on human survival. So if you develop an AI specifically with that focus in mind, then it could be used to keep other AIs in check. So that's ultimately what I was thinking about doing. Or, well, that's what I wanted to discuss as a plan for preservation. So, because if we build AI and we get to the singularity, which is something else I want to talk about, there's no way we humans will be able to fight, unlike they show in the movies. It doesn't compute. It's not logical that we'd be able to fight against something that is 1,000 times more intelligent than us and possesses the ability to process massive levels of probabilities. You know, if this happens, then that happens, and that happens. But if something else happens, then something, you know, like all these different sort of a tree of probabilities of directions of the way things can go. So in terms of a system that can predict our every move before we can even come up with our first idea or thought of a move. So before you can come up with one idea about a strategy on how to defeat the machines, you haven't even come up with one idea. The machines have already came up with thousands of ideas that you could come up with, and already has tons of plans to circumvent anything that you could possibly think of. In fact, it already came up with tons of plans that you will never even think of. That's a hopeless battle. How can you fight something that can not only think of so many things before you can even begin to think of anything, and go beyond to thinking of things that you will never think of? You're at a severe disadvantage. Essentially, for all practical purposes, you could imagine that the machines would be capable of seeing into the future. Not literally, but practically. Same as we can see into the future, with a baby running around with a thin glass basketball, a thin, hollow glass basketball, a baby running around, unattended. As much as we can see into the future in that scenario, these machines would be able to do the same thing for just about everything. So we can't literally see the ball crashing and breaking, but we know the extreme high levels of probability that that's going to be an outcome. So in essence, what's the difference? I mean, there is a difference, of course, but there's little difference between being able to actually see in the future and see the baby break the ball versus knowing that that's going to happen with a very small chance that it doesn't. And that's the main difference between actually seeing into the future. Being able to actually see in the future, you would know exactly when and how the ball will break, and 100% know that it will break. But based on probabilities, you wouldn't know when and where the ball would break. And even though you would be able to accurately predict within a high level of precision that it will break, it's not 100%. So the ball might actually not break. That would be an extreme anomaly, but the fact of the matter is, when you're predicting based on probability, it's not going to be the same level of precision, obviously, as actually seeing into the future, which, as far as we know, is not possible. But the point is, imagine if you could see everything with that same level of clarity. Everybody knows a kid running around with a delicate object like that is going to break it. Unattended, of course, because somebody could intervene. There's no one there to stop the child. It's going to break. How do you challenge something that sees everything with that level of clarity? Yeah. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Oh, shout out to Nick. I haven't seen Nick in a while. Nick, where are you? Nick, Mega Noob, MJ Shahid, and Igor, new subscriber.
Mario Beats, turn me up.
My neighbors know I'm selling hoes. My plug from Mexico, go.
I still gotta finish up the facial recognition video. My goal is to get that done today. I also want to tweak my sound. I'm not happy with it. I still want to make it better, especially for live streaming. Live streaming, the frequency response is very restricted, so the low end frequencies are suppressed using whatever compression that YouTube uses. So I have circumvented that or mitigated that using my computer's EQ, but the end result sounds muddier than I would like. I want it to be more crisp. I already had boosted the high level frequencies, but it's still not giving me the results that I want. So I'm about to do some research on that as well and play around with the EQ. I'll do some live stream testing, listen to my headphones, tweak the EQ, and see if I can get the sound that I want. I'm gonna start off with crisp. So I'm gonna drop the lower frequencies, flatten them out, and then I'm gonna focus on boosting the high frequencies until I get a nice crisp sound without the distortion of the lower frequencies, which can muddy the sound. So once I get the crisp level that I want, then I'm gonna slowly increase the low end frequencies and then see if, that's my strategy anyway, see if that actually works. Anyway, I don't wanna use headphones right now, so I'm just gonna end this live stream and get to it. Everyone have a great weekend, and see you soon. Don't let the machines get you. CPU Squad, out!